What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And today we're going to be talking all about your why, but most importantly, kind of like your mission statement to really give you the tools mentally and hopefully emotionally to become the best version of yourself. So, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is obviously, if you guys been listening here the last few episodes, it's really giving you guys the tools mentally to prepare on your health and fitness journey before the new year starts. The last thing that I want is for you guys to, start the new year doing exactly what you've been doing year after year after year, which is what? Oh, I'm going to go really, really hard in the paint, right? Which means, hey, you haven't worked out in the last few months and all of a sudden you're going to sign for a gym membership and start working out every single day for 2 hours a day. That's not going to be sustainable. Or maybe, okay, hey, I'm just going to cut out all my carbs like how I always do, right? Well, let me ask you a question. If you always do that, why has it not worked any of the previous times before in the past? Same things with all the cardio, same thing with all the other fad diets that you tried, intermittent fasting. At the end of the day, remember, I want to give you guys all the tools to succeed, but in order to have success on your health and fitness journey, you first need to have an identity shift. You first need to be mentally prepared. Literally, when it comes down to burning body fat and losing weight, it is the easiest thing in the world. I kid you not. Don't believe me? Go to heartletics.com, go to our free training. It's about 35 minutes long. It goes over a step by step approach over the 7 essential fat loss habits for success. We even have a free guide that you can simply download and literally just read through it. It's that simple. At the end of the day, though, it's probably you fall into the factor of this overanalysis paralysis, right? Hey, you see somebody out there and they're saying cut out their carbs and they're 10% body fat with six pack abs, and then you see somebody like myself, right? Same thing, 10% body fat, six pack abs, and yet I'm telling you to eat carbs, and you're like, well, who do I believe? This person says cut out carbs. Coach Joe is telling me to eat carbs. Like, what gives here? At the end of the day, I'll put it to you like this: if anybody's gonna tell you that there's a one size fits all diet, right, that's gonna work the best for everybody, it's complete BS. At the end of the day, when you really learn how nutrition works, right? Calories, macros, micros, right? And how easy it is to just focus on the little things. Like, honestly, like that free training over at Heartletics, we go over, hey, don't worry about your carbs. Don't worry about your fats. Even if you're a type 2 diabetic, even if you're somebody that struggles with your weight, trust me, like, focus on what matters the most. If you focus on your calorie intake, if you focus on your protein goal, you're going to burn the body fat. You're probably realistically going to lose your, enough body fat to reverse your type 2 diabetes. That's obviously how we coach guys like Mike Berry. And in 7 weeks of coaching, he gets off all of his medications, like no more blood pressure meds, no more cholesterol meds, and literally reverses type 2 diabetes in just 7 weeks of coaching just by giving somebody the knowledge. So remember, Heartletics is trying to teach you how to fish, not just give you a fish and feed you for a day, but teach you how to fish and feed you for the rest of your life. So, with that being said, right, that's the simple principles. Go to heartletics.com, go click on the free fat loss training, download the free fat loss guide if you need help in that aspect. This podcast episode, it's once again about the mindsets. And there's been such a shift and change with Heartletics, and there always is. Anytime I level up mentally, emotionally, anything like that, I like to bring my team along for the journey. And what I mean by the team is, I don't mean just the coaches, right? Like, of course, like they're a very big asset to Heartletics. And honestly, I'm so grateful for all the coaches because without them, I could not be doing this, plain and simple. Like, we could not be changing all these people's lives and having such an impact in today's society and in this world without the team behind me, right? Like, they are Heartletics, right? Even the members, the clients, they are Heartletics. Like, that's what it is. And so, what I mean by bringing my team up to speed, I mean also the members. And so, I want to say maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, when we really start diving into some of the new mindset trainings, I realized here is as guys get signed up for coaching, I want to help them right from the get go, right? Honestly, right from the start to have that boom, that impact in their lives. I'll walk you through what it's like being a client, right? Or somebody that's on the fence, okay? And then we'll get right into today's exercise, which is going to be a good one for you guys. And I promise you this, like this little worksheet that we're going to be going over probably is going to solidify and give you the results that you're looking for, hands down. when it comes to 2023 and you burning body fat successfully, not just losing some weight and then 6 months later regaining all the weight right back. No, I mean honestly keeping it all for good. Before we get to that though, let me explain a little bit about what it's like as a member with Heartletics or somebody that's looking to apply for our coaching program. So typically it works like this. Somebody sees my Facebook ad, they either see like a nice little motivational post that I, put on there, or they see me flexing with my shirt off, or me and my son, right, flexing, whatever the case may be. And they're like, okay, cool, it's a free fat loss ad, free fat loss guide. Let me go ahead and download it. So hey, the world of internet marketing here, they download it, they get opted right into what's called a CRM system, right? Customer relations management, whatever it is, right? Mumbo jumbo. And it's literally me on my computer messaging them, right? Like, hey, just following up, making sure that they got access to the ad, or excuse me, access to the guide from downloading, my Facebook ad. And literally 98% of the people instantly think I'm a robot. They're like, oh, this is some kind of scammer. This isn't really Coach Joe behind the scenes messaging me, yada, yada, yada. And so all I'm doing is just, hey, if they're messaging me back, just start up a conversation with them. Obviously, like they downloaded my, fat loss guide for a reason. I'm a fat loss coach. This is what I do here for a living. I've, helped thousands of people for the last 6 years now. So let me just message somebody and just kind of qualify them to see if potentially maybe I can help them out also. And if not, like let's say they don't have the funds to either, invest the bare minimum into coaching, or right, like maybe they're already on the right track and they just need a little bit of extra help. I can at least refer them to maybe a podcast episode or a free training, something like that. So regardless, I'm going through, right, just asking them some basic questions like, hey, what are your goals? Okay, how long has that been your goal for? How long have you been struggling with it? What have you tried doing before in the past to burn body fat? Just really kind of helping them out. And then sharing with them maybe some case studies like, if Coach Brian or Coach Mark or Coach Jimmy or maybe some of the other guys that can maybe just give them some reassurance saying like, hey, at the end of the day, Heartletics is just trying to provide some value into that individual's life and really kind of help them out. And so that we go through this, messaging back and forth to where eventually I feel like it's a good fit. Hey, let's just hop on a call. And this is literally after I've been texting that individual several times, after I sent them over several other materials to where maybe they feel like, okay, I need a coach. I can't really do this all on my own. And that's where Heartletics comes in handy, where we can really help somebody out. Because I always say it like this. We have so much free information out there between the free fat loss guide, the free fat loss training at Heartletics, and then on top of like the podcast episodes that me and the other coaches do. It's realistically super easy to lose weight and burn body fat and keep it off for good. And so I put that line, just draw right there in the sand. And I tell them like, hey, straight up, like, hey, if you're looking to join our coaching program, it's because of like one or two reasons. One, you either really need help when it comes down to accountability, support, guidance, or two, you want to join our wolf pack. You want that sense of that brotherhood. You want that sense of community. The past podcast episode, me, Coach Mark, Coach Jimmy talked all about the importance of teamwork, right? And having a team behind you to kind of help you out. And if you ever played sports growing up, you know the importance of that. And so it's typically when guys go through and they get married, right? Have some kids, work their corporate 9 to 5. They don't have that brotherhood anymore. They don't have that sense of accountability, support, and guidance where guys are just in their corner helping them along that mission of life. Like that's how we do things at Heartletics is we help guys, right? We turn men into leaders where they create these sustainable habits, not just for themselves, but for their family. So typically, right, they'll apply. They'll set up a good time for, whatever works best for them. As soon as they apply, I ask them to simply fill out an application form just to kind of qualify them even more. And this application form is just going to go over like a typical day of eating, past and current injuries, days of the week for training, whether they work out at home, whether they work out at the gym, days of the week, time frame, all these different things to just say like, okay, hey, as this call goes progressing on where, they're going to talk to one of our qualification coaches, like either Coach Jimmy or Coach Mark, they can go through that form that they filled out and just ask them questions about it to once again qualify them even more to see if Heartletics is a good fit for them. And hey, most of the time it usually is. And if not, like it's once again my responsibility to, help Coach Jimmy and help Coach Mark to give that individual some value, while they spend that next 30, 45, 60 minutes on that call with them to just still help them out, regardless if they get signed up or not. So it's always valuable, right? And to apply for Heartletics is completely free. So it's like at the end of the day, we want to just give somebody a really good taste, in their mouth, because who knows? They might come back around, several weeks or several months later and say, man, you guys really helped me out big time and I didn't even pay you anything. Like, I want to see what's behind the scenes now. I want to get signed up to become a member. And instantly, boom, their life's going to change if that's their decision. And so let's say somebody does, they decide to say, okay, hey, I want to get started. So, Coach Jimmy or Coach Mark, they'll send them over the registration email. Inside there, it's going to have a special form to fill out, their personalized meal plan form. We always recommend that they fill it out like with their spouse, kids' food preferences, everything like that. So that way, once again, as we're creating a personalized meal plan for them, it's specifically made for everybody in the household, their individual needs, to make sure that once again, like everybody's getting in shape. I honestly hate it when guys say, oh, I had to do this diet, but my kids ate differently or my wife ate differently, and it was just too hard because I had to buy special groceries compared to like my wife. She had to buy, these other things. I hate that because it's not sustainable by any means. That's one, wasting time, two, wasting, money, which nobody wants to do that at all, right? So we make sure that everything's all personalized for them. And then, inside that registration email, it's going over the steps on how to download the Heartletics app. And then once they're inside there, they immediately have 24/7 support to me, all the other coaches, as well as everybody inside the community group. And so I asked them to just, hey, introduce yourself to the community group. Like, don't be that fly on the wall. Like, get in there. Like, we're all going to help you out and support you on this journey anyway. So might as well introduce yourself and share with everybody your goals and, just join the party. And that's typically what guys do. Excuse me. And so as they're in this what's called prep phase, where when somebody signs up for coaching, they're not starting day one the next day. They're not starting day one of coaching the following Monday. They're not starting it for the following whatever case may be. We only get started with somebody like officially day one of coaching. We have 6 individual coaching phases. Each coaching phase is about 4 weeks long. So we're not starting with phase one of coaching until one, that person already is 210% ready, which means that they had their onboarding call with Coach Mark, which is like a 30-minute call where Coach Mark is going to go over step by step with that individual how to do their meal plan, how to utilize our app with like tracking the nutrition, how to do the workouts, everything like that. So that way, once again, like they're not like starstruck and like they're feeling, man, how do I even do this? Like, remember, we want to make sure they're 210% ready. Bringing this back to driving school, right? It's not like your driver's ed instructor says day one of driving, like, okay, hey, we're just going to go right to the freeway. Like, no. They make sure that they're warmed up, fully prepared before you get your driver's license. And then once again, you're 210% comfortable and confident. That's what we want to do before we even start day one of coaching. So guys are in their prep phase for anywhere from 3 to maybe 6, sometimes even like 8, 10 weeks where, hey, Gary, for example, he had his anniversary and it was also his birthday as well. And he was going to Sandals for like 2 weeks, right? All inclusive. So we gave him, I think 5 or maybe 6 weeks of prep phase just because, hey, it's way better to get started afterwards. The last thing that we want to do is get started with day one of coaching and then boom, he's on a 2-week hiatus, right? Sitting back having some margaritas on the beach, right? Like, no, we want to make sure that, once again, it all makes sense for them. And that's why Heartletics really gears to helping somebody on a personal note for their specific lifestyle. But during that prep phase, there's access to some of our mindset training videos. And the newest one that we did is actually a worksheet that I have printed off right here. And so if you guys are watching this on the YouTube channel, you guys can see it. And here's the thing, if you guys want access to this, whether you are a Heartletics member or not, just find a way to contact me, whether you got my number, whether you got my email, whether you just see this on social media, whatever the case may be, Facebook, YouTube. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below and just say, hey, send me over, Joe, that mindset worksheet. I'll send it right over to just send me over your email or something like that. It's just, what do I got to lose? All I'm trying to do is make the world a better place than how I found it, right? So I feel like this right here is really going to help people out because we've seen so many amazing transformations that happens over time, over and over again at Heartletics. But since I created this new mindset worksheet, it's been almost speeding up the process where these guys are getting that mental shift to really identify who it is that they're trying to become. And the reason why I made this, and I'm going to go over the details here in a second, but the reason why I made this new mindset worksheet is because I always say it like this: anybody can do anything when life is easy. But when life throws you curveballs, that's typically when 99% of the guys out there, they fail. They go back to their old ways, they strike out, and they throw in the white towel, they give up. And this little reminder here, it's very simple. Just fill it out and put it somewhere. I got mine right here. I see it every day because it's going to help you out so much. One, getting you in a state of mind, because you get to see it every single day with your goals, right? Where you're trying to get to, that every single day you're trying to become 1% better. But also, second, during the hard times. So I'm just going to read this for you, okay? I'm going to read it just like so. The intentions of this mindset worksheet is to help you when you need a little motivation through the hard times. And that's so important because think about it, right? Anytime you're on this progression of you becoming the best version of yourself, and that's what we try to do at Heartletics, is to really help somebody become the best version of themselves, not just, physically with burning body fat, having more confidence, increase their sex drive because obviously more testosterone because of all the, burning the body fat and more lean muscle tissue, but mentally and emotionally as well. That's what we mean by the best version of yourself. And so we really want to make sure that we hit home on all areas. And so I say in here, please think very carefully about the questions before answering them because you should, and I say it's like, when it's completed, put it somewhere as a daily reminder, especially when life throws you the curveballs. And so it's two simple questions. And the first one goes like this. It's all about figuring out the why. So I read it like this, and it says, everyone wants to lose weight. Everyone wants to have more confidence. Everybody wants to make more money and live their dream life. But why? Be real with yourself and peel back some of the layers that are holding you back from reaching your fullest potential. Why are you doing this? Why are you showing up every day? Why are you waking up and putting one foot in front of the other, even when you don't feel like it? And I always say it like this: successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. We're trying to really help guys, once again, men become leaders, to lead better by, example, but most importantly, to really establish having more discipline. And that's very key. And so I put in here, why are you choosing to better yourself? What is your why? And that's the first thing that you're going to fill out on this mindset worksheet is simply, what is your why? At the end of the day, I say it like this, right? Let's say I want to lose 30 pounds and get off my blood pressure meds. Well, even though getting off blood pressure meds might be a good why, to me, that's still very surface level. A lot of guys want to lose weight. A lot of guys want to get off their meds, but why? So let's just say myself, for example, right? I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to get off my blood pressure meds. And let's say Coach Joe, right, is asking Joe Callari, like, hey, so why? Well, it might be one of those things like, okay, well, I really want to have more energy. Well, okay, hey, that's a good why. We're peeling back the layers a little bit more, but why do you want to have more energy now? Well, I just realized here when I get home from work, I'm dead tired and I'm actually not spending time with my kids. I'm not being active with them. Okay, well, why is that important to you? Well, I want to really establish, being more active with them and creating better memories with them instead of me just being too tired all the time. And, I know my little ones are growing up fast. So it's like, man, I want to really make sure I'm there for them. Once again, creating those memories. And remember, that's good, right? We're peeling back the layers. But why is that important? Well, okay, so Coach Joe, you keep on asking me why. Well, here's the real truth, right? Back when I was in middle school, I got picked on, I got made fun of for being overweight. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I want to make sure that when they grow up, like, they're not spending all this time on the tablet, eating all their junk food and having these bad habits like how I was. I want to make sure that, they're very active, they have a great relationship with food, and so much so that, they're physically fit to where they're not getting picked on and made fun of for being overweight, because that happened to me. So think about it, right? That surface level of losing 20, 30 pounds and just get off the medications. Well, boom, right? Peel back those layers. Now it's a deep rooted why. And so the first thing that we require everybody to do, and they have to have this filled out before they have their call with me also, because I want to make sure like we dive into this and we really solidify this, because this right here is going to be their golden map, right? The blueprint to having success on their health and fitness journey through Heartletics. And so the first question is, once again, establishing their why. Now, the second one I love. It's all about figuring out who is that 2.0, right? The 2.0 version of who they're trying to become, I should say. And I say it like this. Here's the reality on this journey. I'm very straight up and honest with everybody, right? I say, here's the reality on this journey that you're going to go through right now. It is supposed to be hard. That's the reality, guys. Anytime you're, progressing to become the best version of yourself, think about it. You got to die of your old ways. You got to kill yourself of your bad habits. It's like a little caterpillar, going through metamorphosis and going to that cocoon process to become a butterfly. That his body's going to get distorted and, deteriorated, and out comes that beautiful butterfly. It's the same thing with like pulling back an arrow, right? There's a lot of tension, right? It's hard on that bow, but at the end of the day, like it's good the farther it's gonna go. So we understand that for guys, it's gonna be tough, but once again, this right here is that roadmap, that blueprint to kind of giving them some security, to understanding the realization that, hey, it's supposed to actually be tough, and that's a good thing because most guys throw in the towel, right? They quit, they go back to their old ways, and we want to give the guys the mental edge to say, hey, this is the reality. It's going to be tough, but hey, when you have coaches in your corner that care, and you have this amazing community group, this wolf pack of other brothers that's on the same mission as you, you're not going to fail at all. And so I put in here, without pain and suffering, there is no growth. Without adversity and stress, there is no success. Sometimes you have to go through hell in order to get to heaven. During these times, 99% of people go back to feeding the bad wolf. They make up excuses as to why it didn't work out for them. How many times has that happened to you, right? Where, let's just say, I don't know, you kept on pushing things off to the side, or maybe, when times got tough, you just decided to give up, you went back to your old ways, and then you make up some BS excuse as to why it didn't work out for you. The reality is just like, you're not mentally disciplined enough to stick with it. And that's why your body probably looks the way it does, and probably why you need help, because no one's there supporting you and no one's there helping you mentally become the best version of yourself. And that's what, this worksheet is geared to do. So I put in here, you're different. You're stronger mentally and emotionally than who you were. And day by day, you're only getting better. But now is the time where, when you need yourself the most. Take a minute and really write down everything that you can think of when it comes to creating that 2.0 version of yourself, the best version of yourself, I should say. And then I put in here, whenever life throws you a curveball, which it always will, because you are stepping outside your comfort zone. That's so true. You guys need to understand that. Anytime you step outside your comfort zone, it's supposed to be hard. At the end of the day, like, that's what it is, right? Death, honestly, is inside of your comfort zone, because the reality is when you're in there way too long, and you're not doing something on your own to step outside your own comfort zone and really push yourself, the world's going to push you. The world's going to break you down, and the world's going to shake up your comfort zone and just make things very, very hard for you because, one, you're not mentally preparing yourself or having the emotions enough to really step out of the comfort zone on your own. And so if we can help push you as coaches should, right, it's going to give you, once again, that little edge against everybody else. Because remember, 99% of people throw in the white towel. And so I put in here, take a look at the 2.0, list that you put down below and all the characteristics of your future self. And then ask yourself this one simple question. During these hard times in my life, what would the 2.0 version of myself do, think, and act? So think about it, right? Let's say something happens where you stop seeing results. Maybe everything's all good in the beginning, and then next thing you know, right, you hit this little plateau, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you're dealing with some stress at home with your spouse or at work, or you get an injury, maybe, like that happens, right? You get an injury, and maybe you hurt your knee or you hurt your bad back, whatever the case may be, right? Now ask yourself this. During these hard times in my life, what would the 2.0 version of myself do, think, and act? So let's say you have a back injury. Would the best version of yourself, would they just throw in the white towel and, give up? Odds are no. They'll probably say, okay, hey, we got a bad back right now, so let's really focus more on the nutrition. Instead of going to the gym, let's just focus on just some NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis to burn body fat. Easy ways of just getting some steps in. And maybe with that extra time not going to the gym and working out because we're rehabbing our back, we can focus more on our mindset and maybe establish a better morning routine. So that way, when our back heals, now next thing you know, we're even better because we worked on some of our weaknesses during that time of the injury. So, guys, this right here is the blueprint. This right here is going to lead to massive success on your health and fitness journey because it's giving you the mental edge. And remember, you don't need to be a Heartletics member to get this. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below and send me over your email or message me, whatever, right? Just get a hold of me. I'll send it right over. What do I have to lose here? Remember, my job is to give you guys free advice, free information, value, 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 value. Every time I get an opportunity to cop on this podcast and share with you guys some tips and tricks, I treat it like it's the last opportunity I get to share with you guys something because you never know what's going to happen. We're not promised tomorrow by any means. So I want to come on here and just share with you guys, okay, hey, this is amazing mental tips that we do with all of our clients, brand new, and it helps them out tremendously with giving them the tools to succeed on their health and fitness journey. I want you guys to have success as well. And that's it. Plain and simple. Remember, the new year's coming up here slowly and surely, and I don't want you guys to fail. At the end of the day, whether you get signed up for Heartletics or not, it's regardless. I just want to help you guys become the best version of yourselves. If I could realistically help change the world just through the podcast, then so be it. I want that, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm set off to do, is just to really help men become better leaders, establish better habits, not just for themselves, but specifically for their families as well, because that's how we're going to raise, our generations to come, right? And our kids and our, grandkids by, making sure that we're leading by example. And we're not just talking the talk like what most people do. We're actually, walking the walk. And that's all I'm trying to do is just really help you guys, on that mission. And I know that, physical tips, right? Eat protein, go for some steps, drink plenty of water. Anybody can do that. But remember, most people fail when times get tough. And I don't want that to happen to you. So that's why, like I said, this mindset worksheet is something super valuable that I think it would help you out tremendously. And if you want access to it, just send me over a message or leave a comment down below or email me, whatever the case may be. However you can get a hold of me, just say, hey, Joe, I heard that podcast where you talked about the mindset worksheet. Would love to have a personal copy. Can you send it right over? And I would simply say, absolutely. Send me over your email or whatever I can do to get a hold of you right back to send it. And that's it. So guys, I really hope that you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, do me a favor, share this with a friend, share this with a loved one, share this on your social media page as well, because once again, I'm on this mission, Heartletics is on this mission to make a world a better place and to change millions of lives, and that's what it's all about. So as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics podcast, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.